What's up, guys? This episode is about Vince's huge giveaway. And what this is a prize package I put together that I'm giving away to one gym owner. And the goal of the entire prize package was for one person to be selected to win this, but everything inside of it would totally transform their life and their business. And what I do in this episode is I break down each one of the things, each one of the prizes that they'll get as the winner of this prize pack. And what you'll find is that each one of these things you probably need in your business right now. And I go in and do a deep dive on each one of these items and tell you why I picked that specific one and why I think it's gonna help this gym owner transform their life. Even if you don't win, there's still a ton of value that you get from each one of the explanations that I give for each of these items. So go ahead, enjoy Big Tom and I unpacking Vince's huge giveaway.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the FBU podcast. This is Tom Langton. I'm here with Vince Gabriele. Vince, good afternoon, good morning.
Hello, Tom.
How are you? Episode 538. Today's episode is Vince's huge giveaway. Vince's huge giveaway. Before we get into the episode, we're going to talk about what that means in a second.
What the
giveaway is. You had a pretty big weekend.
Kind of.
Well, you were with somebody. You were with somebody that had a pretty big weekend.
More of a week. It wasn't a weekend.
Okay, it was a week. All right, so talk about it. What was this week all about?
Yeah, my good friend Joe Hashey competed in the Cocodona 250, which is a 250-mile race from Phoenix, Arizona, to Flagstaff, Arizona. And it's a 250-mile through. Now, I originally thought it was 250 miles of like, you're kind of on roads and trails and
like a 5K run outside.
And it was legitimately like some of the hardest mountains like I've ever seen someone climb.
Yeah.
Like throughout. So like you get done with like a mountain and all of a sudden there's another mountain waiting for you. It was extraordinary. And so he asked me to pace him. Normal runners have like 20 pacers.
Right.
Because there's aid stations right throughout, and so there's a bunch of stops, right? And a lot of times you finish one guy, there's like 20-mile tracks, 30-mile tracks, 10-mile tracks, and a pacer jumps in for one,
right?
And then another pacer jumps in for another, and then another pacer. And normal people have multiple pacers. Hashey only had one.
One pacer, and it was you.
That was me.
So what is the job? So we know Hashey. So how long did it take him?
98 hours.
How many days is that?
So he started at 5:30 on 5 o'clock on Monday morning, and then finished at 7 o'clock on Friday morning.
Damn.
Yeah.
So 4 days, a little over 4 days.
Yeah.
And the job of a pacer, is that literally what you're doing? Is just making sure he stays moving? Are you coaching him? Are you talking to him? Like what did you do out there besides just run along with him?
Yeah, I mean, navigation, which your name came up.
I'm sure. How'd you do it? But are you allowed to use electronics?
Yeah. No.
Okay, so you had a GPS?
Yeah, I had a GPS on the watch, but there was a couple times where it was a little tricky because it was marked. Most of the time it was marked in flags and stuff. But my job was to stay ahead of him.
How far ahead were you?
I was probably like 20 feet ahead of him.
Okay.
And I just tried to keep the pace and him following that pace. Because after a while, the first time I was able to pace him, he was already 75 miles in.
Yeah, so he was a little beat up by that point.
Yeah. And again, he said that the first 20 miles was the hardest hike of his life. And I never heard him say anything.
Anything was hard.
I've never heard him say anything has been hard, ever.
But I'm sure the adrenaline was pumping and you the nerves, and then all of a sudden you're straight up a hill, right?
Yeah.
That's wild. But it was a good event. It was amazing. What was your big takeaway?
We were talking. I mean, we had so much time. I mean, I did. I'm trying to think of how many hours I was out there. I think I was out there for close to. It took him. I was out there for probably close to 30 hours.
What was your total mileage on? How many did you? How much?
I did 73 miles.
73 miles.
Yeah. So, so we had a lot of time to talk.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was crazy the things that how many things related to business, like something like an ultra, it's from the preparation, from the problem solving, from all of the things that
overcoming little problems throughout the thing.
There was a great moment where he came off a 24 or 26 mile part of it, and he was like, he came in and he was spent. Like, it was the most tired I've seen him. And he goes, I got 9 problems right now. We're going to solve each one of them one at a time. And he just said it like that, kind of calmly. And it was like a lot of issues were issues with feet, or he's not eating enough, or hydration. Because it's hot. It got hot, and then it's cold at night. It was crazy, the fluctuations in temperatures. Like, sometimes it's like
freezing,
like blazing hot during the day. And then there was one night it dropped to 20 degrees.
Jesus.
It was freezing, like shivering.
Right. And for those that are watching this, we talked about Hashey a lot. He's a big part of SPF, right? You guys have been buddies for 15 years, however long it's been.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know Joe, he's not like, normally you watch these ultras. For anybody interested in this, there's a great YouTube documentary. You didn't do your homework, but I've watched the Chase. It's called The Chase, and they follow a bunch of guys who do this event.
Right.
The average ultra runner is like 5'8", 140 pounds. They're like what you would think a distance runner would be.
Right.
Small guys that can carry. When you talk about feet problems, Hashey's a big dude.
Yeah.
Like he had to be the biggest guy by a landslide, right?
Far. He was a giant out there.
He's 6'4".
No, he's 6'6", 235.
Okay, there you go.
He's a giant out there.
That's big for a 5K. That's let alone a.
Yeah, I think that's what's so impressive.
Yeah, and so talking about feet problems, like.
Yeah.
It's wild. Well, Joe, congratulations. Vince, congratulations on that. That had to be a PR for you, the most you've ever done.
That's the most I've ever done, yeah.
I mean, you got to sleep in between a little bit.
I did get to sleep a little bit, which was like, me and my Motel 6.
It's still a pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go into that.
Yeah, we'll do a full episode.
We had to talk about it, but check it out. Joe Hashey, the Cocodona 500, the Cocodona 250.
250, yeah.
Now, last question, is there a bigger one? It's 250?
I don't know.
Because it's like,
I can't imagine anything much harder than that.
This is like exponentially grown, because like the ultra thing is probably in the last 10 years, people started pushing 100-mile races. And then, so I wonder, like, what is the ceiling for a human?
But you think, I don't know, but you think about what you think of as a marathon, and it's like you're running on a road and you're just jogging straight. And the amount of like altitude change, like over this thing, and the amount of like the terrain, like there was one, we climbed a mountain in Sedona that I was reading, there's a description of each section.
Right.
And so I would read the description for each section.
Right.
And this one says, if you fear height, it's right before I'm about to go, I start reading the thing and I'm like, fuck.
Are you afraid of heights?
I don't love them. I'm not like deathly afraid, but I don't love them. And it says, they basically said, if you are afraid of heights, this one will scare the shit out of you.
Now, was it dark or was it light?
It was just getting dark.
See, in the dark, it might not be bad because you can't see down.
I'm telling you, you would not want to have done this in the dark.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations to Joe. We got to find out what's next, but we'll talk to him. But let's talk about today's topic.
Yes.
Vince's huge giveaway. What the hell is this?
Okay. So you were there. One of the most successful ventures I ever did, this is back now a decade, pretty much a decade ago.
2016, right?
Exactly a decade,
yeah,
actually.
2016.
Yeah, 2016. We did a giveaway for a gym membership. We did it was like a 6-week thing, and it ended up being one of the most successful things we ever did as a company.
Yep.
We could do a whole podcast on it, but I took that same concept that we used and I did it in this business where I gave away like a consulting package to a gym owner. We've done it twice over the last 10 years. Because it's pretty much been about 10 years since this business has existed, the consulting business. And I looked around at the 2 people that won. Both are still with us as clients, and both are like doing better than ever. One of them is Sean and Nora Crine, who won the first one many years ago. They just opened a brand new facility.
Yeah, it looks
did
beautiful.
a grand opening.
Looks beautiful.
Yeah, it looks great.
I saw pictures, yeah.
And the other one is a gym in Ohio who came to us doing I think less than 10K a month, and they've almost tripled their revenue.
Wow.
Since they've been in the group.
So it works.
So it works.
It works.
Yeah. So the people that we've been able to have won it, like they've gone on to do really well, and so it's like, all right, let's just do it again and help another person out there. Because I realize too, it's a weird landscape right now. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. We're coming off of, COVID actually was a long time ago,
Yeah,
but we're coming off, a lot of uncertainty in the world. There's the AI thing that's going on right now. There's a lot of uncertainty happening, and hey, I think this is something we can do that could help. Whoever wins this thing is going to be helped out tremendously.
All right, I have a number circled here. $25,750 is the giveaway.
Is the value.
That's the value of everything, and we're going to break down what somebody whoever wins, exactly what they get in this, right?
Yes.
But before we do, who is this for? Like whoever's watching this.
Yeah.
We're going to give you guys the website is vinceshugegiveaway.com. There's also going to be a link in the show notes to apply for this. Okay. Who watching this should fill this out?
So typically the market for who this would be for previously was a small group personal training gym owner.
Okay.
Right? Someone that's a privately owned boutique gym, but we're expanding this one out a little farther. If you're a big box gym owner, you can apply. If you're Pilates or yoga, you can apply. If you're martial arts, you can apply. So we're expanding this out a little bit more. So basically, if you are a fitness business owner, if you consider yourself a fitness business owner, you can apply for something like this.
And you talk a lot about the stages of business, right? Is this for somebody who's not even open yet? Is this for someone who's been in business for 10 years? Like, what's the wheelhouse? Or anybody?
This is anybody, right? So I think if someone wins this and they're in stage one and like just starting out, man,
it'll be a rocket ship.
They'd be a rocket ship.
But this will also be helpful. Let's say someone watching this and they have a very successful business and they're kind of happy where they are and they're doing really well. Still.
Amazing.
Okay,
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
This
if
is open.
You can win something like this, get $20,000+ of value for nothing.
Why? Why not?
Yeah, why not fill out an application?
So anybody who would really be listening to this or watching this.
Yeah, I think anyone probably that follows this podcast would qualify. I don't think we don't have like lawyers and doctors that follow this podcast.
But anybody who's watching this right now, go to the website. Fill it out. How long does the application take?
There's only 2 fill-in-the-blank questions, so I'd probably say it would take about 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Yeah.
So take the next 7 minutes. Well, watch the episode first. After the episode's over, and then 7 minutes to possibly win $25,000 in
value.
In services.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Okay, so what the hell do we? So what do we get?
So there's so much. Like, let's pull the list out.
Okay, I got it.
So let me. Can I go out of order?
You don't have to go in order. I can follow along.
I'm gonna start with. I'll start with the first one. So the first one is they get 6 months in the SPF Mastermind.
Okay.
Right, and so that is obviously our mastermind, and they get 6 months free. That's a $9,000 value.
All right, but can you tell me what that means?
Yeah.
Because I think people hear that. We talk about it every time.
Yes.
Like this person's a mastermind member, this person's not, a new member, an old member. Like what the hell does that mean? Like what do you get? What do you do?
So when you're in the SPF Mastermind, there's multiple things that you're going to get. The first thing is you're going to get access to a community of other gym owners.
Okay.
Right. So now, most of the time people are doing this. They're on an island.
Yeah.
Or you know what that's like.
Yeah.
You're on an island and you're like, you got questions and you got things that you're struggling with, and maybe don't want to talk to your spouse about it, or you don't want to talk to you probably don't want to talk to your staff members about your finances.
Right.
And so there's a lot of things that go on in a business that it's really helpful to have a sounding board. It's really helpful to have a peer group of people that that they're going through the same stuff that you go through. And a lot of times too, what leads to this is friendships too. Like some of my really good friends are people that I've met in mastermind groups over the years.
Right.
Because I think a lot of times, like as you get older, I don't necessarily connect with all the guys in my kids' school.
The community that you're in.
There's some that are good dudes, right?
Yeah.
But those aren't the people I hang out with. It's the people I hang out with are the Joe Hasheys of the world, the entrepreneurs, right? The people like that that kind of like
they get it.
They get it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing is you're going to get access to a peer group of people. Plus, and that's not even beside the fact of, hey, you can make a phone call to a guy like Devin Gage, who's got this amazing campaign going on right now, who posts in the group that he's crushing it, and you ask him, hey, can you share that with me? And he's like, sure. And he shares it with you. Someone's like, there's things happening where people are winning, and in a mastermind, that stuff is shared. That stuff, there's not like a competitive nature to it. It's like, no, yeah, dude, this helped me. Here, try this.
I think that the biggest takeaway I've ever gotten from it was, I wish I remembered who said it, but it was one of the guys that were up for the Maven Award, and they were doing their speech about it was for the Gym Owner of the Year, and they said the mastermind to them was like there was someone in that room, no matter what problem you were having, somebody in that room had the same problem and already solved the problem. So it's basically like you can come in there and say whether it's employees, whether it's members, whether it's your landlord, whatever problem you have as a gym owner, somebody has had that problem and solved that problem and can help you with it, and like that's the value. That's it right there.
Yeah, and here's the thing that it's not an inexpensive thing to join.
Yeah. It's an investment.
It's a big investment, and a lot of people are afraid to make that investment.
Right.
And so something like this, it allows you, if you were kind of on the fence of something like this, it allows you to get it
For nothing.
For nothing, right?
Yeah.
I would say the other thing too is just you're getting a coach, right? So we're your coaches, like
right.
myself, Joe Hashey, Leo. There's people in the group that are going to give you the advice that you need. That is what I like to call a pair of fresh eyes. Right, so there's things that are going on in your business that you're kind of locked in on, and you're maybe not seeing things that are so blaringly obvious to you. Like even just this morning, I had a consulting day we'll talk about the consulting day in a second.
Yeah.
But I had a consulting day with a girl named Kristen Bartley who owns 5 Anytime Fitnesses.
Okay.
And so she brought a bunch of questions to me, and she wanted my feedback and my advice, and I said to her things that she's like, oh my God, I've never even considered that.
Never even thought about that.
And so when you have someone like that is not emotionally attached to your business, it's way better to get advice from them versus either taking advice from yourself or someone that's like emotionally involved in your business, like your spouse or something like that.
All right. So that's the first one. 6 months, you're a member of the mastermind.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
So you're going to get a consulting day with me. So I just kind of mentioned that. And consulting day, that can be done either in person or on Zoom.
Okay.
And basically what I do is a deep dive of your business. You will fill out this lengthy report or this lengthy, everything to do
questionnaire.
With your financials. Yeah. We'll talk about your people, like who you have on your staff. We'll talk about your marketing and everything that's going on, and I'll have you fill out this big long packet. It gets sent to me in advance, and then what I do is I prepare an agenda to go over and help you solve the challenges and the
specific to your business. Specific to your business. It's like an audit for your entire business.
Pretty much. It's like I'm gonna look under the hood of your business by looking at. Now, the thing is, it's not just me answering your questions. It's me taking a look at what is reality.
Yeah.
That's why I want to look at the financials. Right? Because if I can look at the financials and I look at your scoreboard numbers and what, how many leads you're getting and where the leads are coming from, it's a much more, I'm able to give way better advice than I can if you just come on and be like, oh, I kind of feel like I'm struggling with this or I'm struggling with that.
Is that intimidating for people? Does that scare people to come in?
I think that honestly, sometimes it's more intimidating for people to do it in groups.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when it's one-on-one,
it's a little better.
It's a little easier. But like when we have CEO Mastermind,
that's tough.
So CEO Mastermind, you do this, and it's in front of 12 of your peers.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I remember the first CEO Mastermind. There's a guy that got up there, and it's nerve-wracking to get your profit and loss. It's like getting naked in front of your friends.
For sure.
It's like I looked at. All of a sudden, I looked down, and his leg was trembling, like back and forth. That he was so scared to be in front of the room.
Yeah, it's tough.
So I think it's probably almost a little less intimidating to do it in a one-on-one.
Okay.
Plus, I'm a pretty nice guy, right, Tom?
Sometimes.
I don't,
no judge. It's the no judgment zone.
Yeah, it's a no judgment zone.
You're here.
So,
but that's the other thing you got to understand is like you're not going to sit there and say you're not going to judge them. You're helping them. That's the whole goal is that.
Yeah, I will be frank and real.
For sure.
Right, and I have to be. That's my job.
But you're a coach.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So you get 6 months SPF, consulting day with you.
Yeah, and on the same day of consulting, what they can do is piggyback that with a day at my gym.
Okay.
Right, and so they're going to be able to come do that. Usually what happens is, here's how the full day works usually, because it's kind of like a half day with me and then a full day total. So from 6 a.m. to 9 o'clock roughly, 9 o'clock is usually when I start the day, but from 6 a.m. to 9 is when they can shadow the gym, come in and watch the sessions. And that's sometimes people love that the most.
It might be the most valuable.
Right,
Yeah.
of like to watch my trainers, right? Because I'm a coach and consultant, right? But on the other side of this wall, there's a gym that trains people,
right.
and there's staff members that are real and are employed, and they're not robots, they're real people, and like this is happening.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff that I'm teaching, like this is really happening. And so they get a chance, and it's happening on a pretty high level.
Yep.
Like I look to say that, you know, are we the best gym in the world? No. Are we one of them? Hell yeah. Right? And so you can come out there and see one of the best gyms in the world, I believe, doing a really good job. And so you'll see how we program, you'll see how we tweak the individual, you know, you got like a guy that's banged up, you know, 75 years old, and you got a woman that's 40 that's killing it. How do you train those two people in the same session? You're going to be able to see those things and, you know, interview my coaches and get all the behind the scenes stuff for how we run the business. And for especially for people that are new to small group training or haven't done it at all, they're like floored by the whole thing.
Gotcha.
So
all right, so a full day GFP. We're going to look to help with the on the floor stuff, the behind the scenes stuff. Keep going. What else? So we're getting some already. That's a pretty good deal. Just those alone. Just the mastermind for 6 months and a day here is pretty valuable.
That's pretty valuable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're going more.
15K right there.
Okay.
Okay, so what I did also, I brought in some of my friends.
Yeah.
Right, and some of my friends are, you know, I like to say that I don't want to recommend anything to anybody that I either haven't really truly vetted strongly or have personally used myself.
Okay.
And so that's what, it takes me a while to make a commitment to a vendor. And so the vendors that I've placed into this package are people that I've had personal experience with and that I fully trust. And so the first guy is Gym Member Machine. GMM.
Yep.
And my friend GR Hoff.
Yep.
I had the opportunity, you know, to sell my marketing agency, KISS Marketing, a year ago. I had multiple offers. And I was going through the process of who I wanted to sell. I was in a great position, right? That there was multiple people that wanted to buy it. And I did my due diligence, and GMM was the clear winner, right? And it was the clear winner because they're just doing good work.
Yeah.
Like I see the results that they're getting. I see how the clients that I did have that were using them were very happy with the success. I think GR is a really smart guy. I think that he's building a good business and a good team. So the only recommendation I have for digital ad management is Gym Member Machine. And so what they'll get is they'll get a full month of, they'll set up their ads, they'll run their ads, and then they even have something called, he said he was going to throw this in, it's called AI Caller.
Okay.
Right. I honestly don't know what the hell it is,
all right.
But it's something to do with lead nurture and lead follow-up.
Yeah.
That probably will be very helpful in taking the leads that you're getting and converting them.
All right. We'll have to get GR on the podcast.
Well, yeah, we'll get GR on the podcast and talk about it.
Good old Texas boy.
But yeah, they're going to get the ad set up, the ads run. They'll do everything from the copy and the creative and all of that, you know, for them, and that'll be at no cost.
All right, so that's a month with GMM.
Month with GMM.
All right, keep going.
Next, we're going to get GymSupps, which I love this guy. This guy, his name's Jason Rose. He's been on the podcast before, but he has a company called GymSupps. He's one of the most down-to-earth, coolest dudes. The thing I love about Jason, he's one of us. He's a gym owner. He owns 3 gyms.
Very successful gym owner.
Very successful gym owner. Yeah, he spoke at one of the masterminds. I think you saw him there.
Yep.
But in addition to 3 gyms that are crushing it, he's got a pretty successful supplement company. And GymSupps is all private label, meaning that all of the people that use his supplements, it's their stuff. And we sell it at GFP. I take my supplement stack is most, not all of it, but the majority of it is GymSupps. And they just do a great job. They have great prices. They have good margins. They have good quality products. You're going to get, for this one, a gold membership, which is the $2,500 value for that. So which is like $2,500 in like setup fees and supplements and like getting all that stuff, you know, for your gym. And he did say if we ended up picking a winner that already is a customer of GymSupps, which is possible, he would do some kind of a credit for them as well.
Okay.
So
he kind of takes they kind of take the guesswork out of selling supplements at your spot. That's the
Yeah, well, the cool thing is he does a good job of teaching you how to sell it. Because here's the thing, it's one thing to provide good supplements, but it's another thing to
actually move it.
Yeah, and he did a really good talk at our mastermind, I think last July, was it?
The one that was here.
No, the one, so it was last November. And he talked about all these different strategies and ways that he's teaching gyms to get more of your customers to buy them. And one of the things I love about Jason, he's not like, he doesn't promise you that, hey, you're going to make 20 grand a month in supplements. And so he tells you, it's like, hey, you're going to make anywhere from 3 grand a month to 6 grand a month or whatever. And it's a really, really good added value for your customers because one, they're buying supplements already. Right. But two, why don't they buy them from you? Like, why don't you make some money at the same time? And the thing I love about his label, the private label stuff too, is that it's omnipresence. Like, you've heard me talk about that hey, you want your stuff
in the house,
in the home.
Yeah.
Right. And so if all of a sudden, every time they come downstairs and there's a tub of protein on the counter and it's your logo on it and they see it, like, they're thinking about your business.
For sure.
That's really, really powerful. And I think it's a very underestimated part of supplementation. When they go and they buy,
Gold Standard,
Gold, Ghost,
yeah,
stuff like that, they're not thinking about your business. They're thinking about that business. And so if you can get your customers thinking about your business more often, what are you going to get? More referrals, right? Because all referrals happen from a conversation.
For sure.
If you're in their mind more often, you're going to come up in the conversation more.
For sure.
So the GymSupps is like, it's a phenomenal company. And again, as I said before, like, all of the things that are part of this package are either my own stuff or stuff that I fully have vetted, fully believe in, good quality.
That you use here.
That we use here?
Yeah.
Right. We use it here.
All right. So we get GymSupps, we get the GMM. Give me some more friends you got. What else? Who else?
Ooh,
who else
this next one's good. This is 90 Days of Naamly. Right? Summit. My man Summit came through. All right, thanks, Summit.
So what is Naamly? I think this one can be confusing for people.
Yeah, so Naamly is basically a retention software, right? Okay. And so this Naamly allows you to have a very, very good system to follow up with your customers. Like, there's really nothing more important than attendance tracking for keeping people for the long haul, right? That's the number one thing that's going to tell you if someone's about to quit.
Right.
Is they slowly start not showing up.
Yeah.
And so Naamly has this like really good system. It's a software that connects with either with your CRM or they also have a version of their own CRM. But it enables you to link what you're doing in terms of attendance tracking and it links, you can just reach out to them right away when they're not there.
That's awesome.
And so it tracks things. He has done a really, really good job. I've known someone for a really, really long time. And so I was on the very ground floor of giving him advice on, and I know he mentioned you stuff, right?
Yeah.
He interviewed you like way back in the day.
Back in the day, probably about 10 years ago, he came and hung out here and asked us like big problems we were having and kind of built Naamly. I think that's what he did. He went into gyms like Gabriele and other gyms like it and said, what are the big problems you're having? And then he solved those problems.
Right.
That was
created software.
He didn't like create a software and then try to jam it in, which I think a lot of software companies do. I know softwares that we used here, that we used at other places. It's like you're trying to make it work for your business.
Right.
He kind of built the software around businesses like this.
Right. So if you're one of us and you're doing some form of personal training, you're a boutique style gym, even small group, semi-private, which I hate that term. We've talked about it many times. But it fits perfectly. But I think the big thing is he's very, very he understands that retention is such a big part of business.
For sure.
He understands that, and he wanted to build something to help, hey, how can we help gym owners protect probably the number one asset they've got, which is their current customer base. And I think Naamly does a really, really good job of providing that. So you'll get 90 days of Naamly.
$2,000 value.
$2,000 value.
Nice.
For that.
All right, keep going. What else we getting? We got some more friends here.
This is a good one. Gym owners are gonna love this one. A $1,000 shopping spree at Perform Better.
That's a great price.
Yeah.
That alone I'd spend 7 minutes for $1,000 to Perform Better.
Yeah, $1,000. So obviously Perform Better, you can get any equipment, kettlebells, bands, whatever. They got everything. Mm-hmm. Now, Perform Better is like, it's not only, I think their products are great,
but they're just phenomenal people. Over
The
there.
best.
They're the best people, and their customer service second to. I have had a relationship with my rep at Perform Better since 2007.
Conrad was my guy too.
He was your guy.
He was the best.
Right.
Yeah.
He's great. Does you use that outfit?
Absolutely. I would text Conrad, and whatever you needed, it was there a day or two later.
Yeah.
Conrad was the best. Yeah.
But like lifelong relationships, with these guys, and they're super good quality products, and so $1,000 shopping spree over at Perform Better.
That's nice.
That's a really good one.
All right. So so far we're looking at supplements, equipment. You have two different types of software, one for advertising, one for retention. What else could you need in a business?
We're going to keep going.
Okay.
So we're going to go to the finance route. Now, I told you that, in the consulting day with me, I will look at the financials.
Mm-hmm.
Now, full disclosure, I have read more profit and loss statements than most people in the entire world, right? Because just from the CEO Mastermind, there's 24 people that do it a quarter. I read all the PNLs. I've been running that group for now 6 years.
Yeah.
So I've read a lot, plus my own.
Right.
So I've read a lot of P&Ls, but no one has read more P&Ls than Mike Waldron, right? And that what Mike Waldron is the CFO of Carmel Valley. He is basically a robo CFO. So he is the CFO for hundreds of gyms from all over the country.
And he specializes in fitness. That's what he does.
That's all he does.
I think that's the biggest
It's
thing.
finance for gyms.
It's like a lot of people think of accountants or finance guys. It's like they do it all. It's like this is what he does. He looks at all he works with is gyms.
Yes.
He's a specialist.
Yes, specialist.
Yeah.
Right. And so, as much as I told you that I can look at a P&L and read it pretty well, he's on another level. He's taught me everything I know about it. Right. So he's going to do a finance audit and a deep dive into your numbers, and it'll be much more. So I would get into much more of the strategic side of teaching them what to do from the marketing standpoint, what to do from team building standpoint. He will basically help diagnose what the numbers are telling you.
Yeah.
Right. He will look at your profit and loss statement, and he'll be like, all right, this is what we're seeing. This is the projections. This is the bottlenecks. This is where we're falling short. This is why you don't have as much money as your bank account as you think you should have. He gives you the deep dive for that. He's super smart, super intelligent. He's super down to earth and real. He's not like one of these nerds that's like, a number cruncher and stuff like that. Like, he gets it. He knows this industry really, really well. And he's going to give you a really good audit, and it's going to give you a lot of clarity on your numbers.
At the different masterminds that I've been to, the events, I've heard him speak 2 times, I think, maybe 3. But that's the one talk when you kind of look at the schedule and you're like, oh, he's talking finance for an hour.
Yeah.
Everybody's in their seats. No one's talking. Everybody's just taking notes the entire time. And then people ask so many questions. Like, we have to cut every single time he's done. We had to say, all right, he's going to be around. Ask him questions later because he brings so much information.
And he gets most of the questions like after the talk.
For sure. No one wants to raise their hand, but he gets more questions than any speaker we've had because that's the one thing I think a lot of gym owners don't get, and he gets it. He gets it. All right, so you get an audit from Mike Waldron. All right, so now we have finances in there.
Yeah, we pretty much have covered every part of business.
Yeah.
Like, every part of business we're covered, but we're still going.
Okay.
I realize that the product is so important. Like, and I think that the product and the I call it, the food, right? You go to a restaurant, when the food is good, there's a good chance you're going to go back, right?
Right.
And probably about 2009 or 10, you were there.
Yeah.
We hired Charlie Weingroff to come in, and we said, Charlie, you're one of the smartest training minds in the world. I want you to rip up what we're doing.
Yeah. And I mean, that's not hyperbole. That's not like sometimes you say things like, oh, it's the best in the world. They're the best. Like, he truly is one of the smartest people in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. Very easy.
Because that was a tough day. That was like an intimidating. When he came in, I remember it vividly. He came in, we basically said, tell us what we're doing wrong.
Yes.
And he told us what we were doing wrong. And it was hard for us because that was our baby, and we had spent so much time with the programming and the progressions and regressions. And I remember we had a whiteboard, and he was just Xing this and Xing this.
Why are you doing this?
It doesn't even make sense. But it changed the way we train people.
Totally. I really do believe that from that day forward, our training went to another level.
It was unbelievable how much better we got from that one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I called Charlie, And I said, I'm doing this thing and I want you to be a part of it. And he's going to do a 2-hour in-service for your staff.
That's awesome.
Right, and so he basically come on, probably Zoom. He did mention if whoever wins wants to go to Florida and meet with him in person, he said he would do that.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. But like if you're far away, you could do it with him.
He did a kettlebell, his kettlebell seminar at Gabriele Fitness.
Yes.
And our entire staff was there. There was other people on the mastermind that came that brought their staff.
Yes,
Marty and a few other people. But it was a full day. If you buy his products, the kettlebell product was filmed here. But I remember like how much better our team got at coaching, and it was only like the kettlebell stuff that day. It was almost like our own personal RKC basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was unbelievable how much that one day changed the way.
You're a HKC. Right?
HKC, that's right.
You're
That's
HKC.
right. That's right.
I figured it
That's
was.
right.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, I did.
That's all you need.
I did the RKC.
That's all you need. But I'm also
HKC.
Charlie Weingroff certified, which is a step above.
You're HKC. That's
which
fine.
is a step above.
Yeah.
All right, so
I don't think they have it anymore.
we got an in-service. We have an in-service with
Yours
Charlie.
is expired.
We have an in-service with Charlie Weingroff.
Yeah, I wanted on the Charlie Weingroff thing. I want to just reiterate like how you can angle it. It's just him coming up. But I would have when you do it with him. Have him do what he did for us.
Yeah.
Like tell him about your program. Tell him what you're doing. Like ask him to poke holes in it. And I think that's where you're going to get the most value from it. We showed a lot of vulnerability, and we wanted to get better, and we wanted his advice on how to do it. So I definitely think it's not no Charlie, just teach us this. Or it's more about hey, here's what we're doing. How can we make this better?
Yeah. And he will make it better. There's no doubt about it. You will be better. Your team will be unbelievable. Your program will be better after he comes there.
Yeah. And that's a driver. Like the better your product is, the better your retention is going to be. The more referrals you're going to get. Like there is some people that go too far in this direction. Or they don't focus on anything else except it, and they try to make it 150%, and it doesn't. But there are a lot of people out there that need to get better. That need to provide a better service and better product and get better results. And I think this is a big piece of it. And Charlie can help.
I think one thing with that was people are afraid that what they're doing is wrong, and if they change it, their members are going to go, well, we used to do it this way. Why do it? There's a fear of like. Right. For us, when he came, because we changed a lot after he left, and our members were looked at us like, oh, these guys are they're trying to get better. I think from a retention standpoint, your members want to see you learning and being like, hey, we used to do it this way, and now we do it this way, and here's the reason why we do it, and I think it's a big retention driver as well.
That's a really good point. And I also think even your members want to see you progressive. They want to see you, even when we used to change the equipment around all the time.
Yeah.
We would always move stuff here and move stuff there, and they would always come in and oh, it's different in here, and they would like it because they looked at us as hey, I want my doctor to be going to Zimbabwe to learn about this new technique.
For sure.
I want the people that I've hired to help me
to be on the cutting edge.
Yes, to be on the cutting edge and to be learning and growing all the time, and this is a demonstration of that.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. All right, we got one more.
One more. And the last one is a CFSC Level One cert, valued at $750.
Okay, what is CFSC?
CFSC is Certified Functional Strength Coach.
Okay.
Right? Is that right?
Yeah.
No, I have it wrong on the paper.
Yeah, I know.
CFSC.
Yeah.
It's not CS, it's CFSC. So
CFSC.
The person that, and it's funny, they're not related, but they're intertwined as Boyle and Charlie Weingroff, who are friends and been colleagues for a long time, right? And Mike Boyle is, we talk about Charlie Weingroff, right? Who's one of the most smartest minds in fitness. But then you have Boyle, who's probably the most practical mind, who's doing it.
He's the godfather.
Yeah. But he's doing it on such a high level, at such a high volume. I mean, the amount of people that go through his gym. So, I mean, I look at the certification, I've done people think I'm a business guy, but you know this. How many certifications do I have?
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like Chuck Norris. I got all of them.
Yeah.
Right? But the CFSC is created by Boyle.
Yeah.
Right? And so in Boyle, I trust Boyle. I trust what he does. I trust what he puts out there. And again, if you're listening to this, you're like, oh, Boyle doesn't know what the hell he's doing. The same for you, buddy.
No.
The same for you. If you don't have respect for Mike Boyle, and what he's created, you're probably not in our world.
For sure.
Right? Go keep back squatting.
But the practicality the range of people he trains and the level that he trains at is second to none.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's real life stuff. It's not somebody on the internet who trains themselves. Like he's training professional athletes, he's training kids, he's training older adults, everything in between. And he's doing it at a very high level.
Yeah, and his certification, the
Teaches you.
CFSC, is pretty much the...
This is what we do.
Yeah, this is it. This is what we do. This is how to do it. So if there's any cert that anyone should get that wants to kind of follow that kind of model,
That's it.
This is it. I mean, can you go get, CSCS and... Yeah, is the CSCS the kind of gold standard from a credibility standpoint? Yeah, I think it's probably still is. But in terms of actually making you a better coach and going out there on the floor and seeing a trainer be better, like this is the one.
I think that's the difference. Is a lot of the certs, the CPTs and the CSCS teach you about training, but then once you learn that stuff, you get into a client in front of you and you're like, what the hell do I do with this person? Like but that's what Boyle does is like, okay, now you have a person. Here's how you use all that information and like what to actually do.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Boyle, like Boyle was kind of the first guy I learned training from. Mm-hmm. Like I really look at I used to watch his DVDs. Yeah. Like that's how long ago it was. And like there was not a human being that I've learned more from about training than Boyle.
He's the translator to me.
Yeah.
He takes the really high-end science that I'm not smart enough to understand.
Yeah, the Stuart McGill stuff.
And then he goes, okay, here's all the really cool research. Now what do you do with it? And then here's how you apply it to who you're working with. He translates all that high-end stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. $25,750 of value in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 things.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot. And it takes 7 minutes to fill out this application.
I think it's about 7.
Okay.
Give or take.
Again, Vince's huge giveaway.
Vince's huge giveaway. The link is also in the show notes.
Link's in the show notes. You can just go to the website, fill it out. When are you going to pick a winner?
Shoot. What
is the date on here?
I think it's good. June 21st. Yes, it closes June 21st.
Okay.
So whenever this is, June 21st is the closing date. So you got time, but I would just do it now.
All right. So $25,750 of value. Takes 7 minutes to fill out the application.
Give or take.
Give or take. Go to the website, fill it out. Any closing thoughts?
I think that something like this, I think there's a lot of uncertainty in the world. I think there's a lot of good things on the horizon. And I think this will be like jet fuel, right? This will be like jet fuel for somebody. This will take someone that may be struggling or maybe kind of stalemated for a while, like they haven't grown in a couple of years and they're kind of just, this I think has the potential to just catapult you to another level. So I'm super excited. I'm super excited to read the applications. I love reading the applications and hearing where people are at and why they should win, because you're gonna have to sell us a little bit, right?
Yeah.
We're not just gonna have you click you're not just gonna click a box. You got to tell us of why we should pick you, for this. Because I'm gonna read through every application and look at it, and I wanna pick somebody. This is not a random. I'm picking the person. Okay, so it's not a random.
It's not a lottery.
No, it's not a lottery.
The best application is so take your time. Tell us your story. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, it's not a lottery because I want to help somebody.
Yeah,
I want someone out there that really wants this and needs this, that is going to convince me that hey, I'm going to take this opportunity and I'm going to maximize it. I'm going to change my business. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to change the people in my community. And that's why, because I go back to when we did it from a fitness standpoint.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time.
We spent a lot of time reading those applications.
Deliberating.
We changed many lives from giving that away.
100%.
Many lives.
100%. Still talk to those people. Marcus Island and Kathy and some of those people that did sweepstakes literally changed their lives. And we spent a lot of time. So it's like, take your time, tell us the story. That's it, man. Vince's huge giveaway. Huge. Guys, thanks for listening. Have a great day, Vince.
See you, Tom.
Thanks for listening to FBU Podcast. Guys, if you got anything out of this episode, do us a favor. Hit that like button, share this episode with another fitness business owner, and subscribe to our channel. Every one of those clicks help us out a lot. And don't forget, visit vincegabriel.com for tons of free resources. There are books, downloads, everything a fitness business owner could need. Thanks again. Have a great day.